to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
Here he goes. It's Hester. Inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. Missed the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to The Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews. Welcome back to The Pigskin Project, episode 77. Football's back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we've got a game tomorrow, and this is the last, the first week. Holy crap. This is the first week where we'll have football, and it's going to be consistent until Pro Bowl week.
Yeah, until Pro Bowl week. It's going to be fun.
The drought is over. It's finally time to watch some football on TV. I'll be completely honest with you, though. So I was talking to my coaches about this, and we were like, oh, man, Hall of Fame games tomorrow, and I was like, yeah, time to watch it, and then realized that I got tricked into watching this again because this game is going to be awful. But it's going to be exciting to have some football back. But Ben, how are you doing, man? You excited?
I can't wait for football to be back again. It's the first time in it feels like months. Ready to see my Eagles play next week because last time they were on the field, I wasn't too happy. But I'm pretty tired this week, so if you guys hear me yawning and whatnot, you guys will just have to stick with me. I've had a very long day. I've been up since 5, so. But
all good.
Doing good, man. Like always, I'm ready to talk some football. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm watching my Cubs again, during the podcast. I know, my bad. Have you seen this right now, man? It's last night's score. Did you see it by chance?
I did. You guys smoked them. But
did you see tonight's score?
I did not.
15-6 right now. Bottom of the
Phillies went into the 13th inning, and Trey Turner. I'm just glad we don't have a baseball podcast. That's all I'm going to say with how Trey Turner.
Well, for one, I don't have the amount of knowledge to be able to share it on a base. Dude, I had to Google what a certain statistic was. Just because there's so many of them in baseball. But yeah, I'm having lots of fun watching that. I got that wrestling belt that I was talking about.
Yeah.
There's another home run. But anyway, I got my wrestling belt. It's a replica, but it's awesome. This is just it's been pretty nice for me. I will say though, so a little fun fact, because we'll talk about this briefly. Before I get into this, if you guys are wrestling fans and you guys are interested in this conversation that we're about to have, tune into the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, one of the branches off of the Overtime Sports Network. Great guys over there, and they put on one heck of a show too. So just go check them out. They do. But anyways, so there's a big pay-per-view on Saturday, SummerSlam, and that because I know you don't necessarily watch wrestling, right? But WrestleMania is the biggest one.
Yep.
SummerSlam is the 1A of that, so it's just massive, and it's in Detroit this year. It's at Ford Field. So
that's fun.
It's pretty cool. And so I was sitting there playing the wrestling video game that we have just late last night, and I was talking to my uncle about it and stuff, and he was like, well, what are you doing that day? And I'm like, I have work. And he was like, well, if you can figure out how to get out of work, we'll try and hightail it up to Detroit and try and make it to SummerSlam. And Caitlin can come with and everything. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is great. I'll figure it out. I'll try and make it work. So I, on the phone all day, trying to figure it out. And it got literally to, all right, all I need is my shift covered. And I can't leave a little bit earlier, so I can't make the show in time for it to start. If I were to go and spend the money, I would miss a third of the show trying to get there. So at that point, it's not even worth it. Just get off a little bit early. Let's get a pizza, sit down in front of the TV and watch the pay-per-view. There's one that's happening in Indianapolis in October, and then there's one that's happening in Chicago in November. So I've got options. It just sucks. You know what I mean? Like it's disappointing, but
so close yet so far.
Yeah, the coolest part about it though is that I have a girlfriend that's like kind of interested in this too. So it's who else can say that? You know what I mean? So I'm pretty privileged as it is, and I get to go to Bears training camp a week from today. So and I don't see any problems with the podcast that day, by the way, for anybody in question. And then the week after next, we'll be going to the joint practice as well. And so we'll talk about that. I don't see anything that should get in the way of the normal time as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. I sound very, privileged to be able to go to that and everything. And I feel horrible for complaining about not going to SummerSlam. So that's why I'm just kind of taking the good with the bad here and just being like, let's just, because I still get to watch it. It's just not going to be fine.
Yeah.
So, it'll be all right and everything. But lately, dude, I mean, sports has been awesome. The only thing that sucks is the amount of injuries that we're about to cover in weekly news. And it's just, I mean, it's August. Like there's football on now. Like I get to turn on. I mean, let's see. Let me look at my phone really quick so I can look. So starting next week, there are going to be more frequent games. Like there's 2 on Thursday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on Friday, 6 on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. So it's like we're about to have football, in 4 straight days starting next week. And I mean, technically for me, it's going to be like 6 straight days because I have practice, then I have training camp, then I have practice and games like to watch, I love it, dude. I can't complain. Life has been awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I think we should dive straight into weekly news, man. What do you think?
Yes.
Awesome.
Ryan and Ben bring you weekly news.
All right, so I just cut myself off with the drop, but it's totally fine. That's how functional we are today. Anyways, so Alvin Kamara, for those of you that live under a rock, he plays for the Saints. He's expected to face suspension for his incident in Las Vegas that happened before the Pro Bowl. This wasn't the last Pro Bowl, but it was the Pro Bowl before, I believe, right?
Yes.
He will meet with Roger Goodell to determine how long that suspension will be. By the way, before we dive in too deep to weekly news, I just want to say that we're covering the major news.
Because there's so much stuff. We can't cover everything with training camp and everything coming out of training camp. And
we're not going to comment on everything either. So for this one, it's just kind of like, we kind of expected that. But that's about it. Patriots 27-year-old wide receiver Jalen Hurd is retiring from the NFL. Not much to say other than, he retired early for the normal average, but, whatever. Let's see. People are starting a petition to change the Washington Commanders name back to the Redskins. What are your thoughts on this? You look pretty passionate.
Yeah, no, this one makes me mad. I mean, I understand the history and everything behind it, but if you're going to go through another name change, just
Wolves.
Don't go back
Team
to
Red
what
Wolves.
It is. I'm fine with that. I mean, I've been Team Hogs or whatnot, but you don't go back to Redskins. There's just way too much controversy, way too much stuff behind that. Like, you just got a new owner. Be happy about that. And Josh Harris, do the right thing. Don't cause issues in the very first year you're owning this team. Please, please, please don't cause issues.
Yeah. Ronald Jones has been suspended for the first 2 games of the 2023 season for PEDs. Bless you. This next one, I want to get your point of view on. Bless you.
Thank you.
Steelers rookie Corey Trice will be done for the rest of the season due to
Oh.
an injury suffered in yesterday's practice. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes me a little sad, and I actually honestly wonder how much of this is like the phantom IR and how much. I mean, he was carted off, so today he was
Yeah.
designated out for the season on like the I guess technically it's like PUP list, physically unable
Yeah.
to participate now. But it makes me really sad, just because I was really, really looking like forward to like seeing him. But he fell like way later in the draft than I would have thought. But it came out that he fell because of some medical red flags. So, we don't quite know what those red flags are, but I wonder how much that is linked to his injury. But I would be surprised if this is like something that's like a torn ACL or an Achilles. My guess is it's something that like he tweaked or like strained something, and it's just like a phantom IR where you don't have to like risk him like waiving him and him getting taken off of waivers, but also it opens up a roster spot for someone else that they don't have to worry about keeping him on the 53. So
Yeah. It's unfortunate. If you guys are longtime listeners of our podcast, you know that basically, I mean, we've been talking about Corey Trice for a while just because he's a Purdue product. You can listen back to our episode with Coach Tyler. I'm sure that we talked about it then, but it is unfortunate, but we do have to continue with the injuries and the unfortunate news. Tim Patrick is feared to have torn his Achilles during training camp. The second straight year for him for season-ending injury during training camp. That's just, you hate to see it. Did you see the video by chance?
I did not see the video, and
so
I'm glad I didn't.
He was put in motion, and then when he started his route, he just collapsed, and you heard a pop.
Oh,
and
no.
It was loud too. So he just kind of tripped face first almost. So I do think that it would be the Achilles because of just different Achilles injuries that I've seen live. But I'm also not a doctor, so I have no clue what I'm talking about. So who knows? I hope that it's not, but at this point, I believe that it's been confirmed. I think that it is, but
it has. Yeah.
Speaking of confirmed, Zach Moss is confirmed to have broken his arm and will be out for 2 weeks. I don't know why that says 2 weeks. That's probably
2 months.
Probably wrong. 2 months. Yeah.
It's probably 2 months.
Yeah. His return is, I mean, if it's a clean cut, then it'll be okay. But Trey Turner tore his quads at his first practice as a Saint this season. That's horrible. Dolphins corner Jalen Ramsey tore his ACL, which triggered the signing of Eli Apple for the Dolphins. Joe Burrow will star on quarterback.
But look, I just want to touch on the Jalen Ramsey thing. This one sucks. Like I was really, really excited to see the tandem of Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard under Vic Fangio. I mean, you more than anyone understands what Vic Fangio can do with some good pieces around him on defense. So it does suck. And the hope, I guess, in the franchise is that he can come back, like if they make a deep playoff push or whatnot. But it always sucks when they didn't spend a lot for him, but it always sucks when you send assets over for a top tier player and they get hurt and they're going to miss a majority of the season because of like a practice.
If all goes well, though, I mean, because I know you see them as competition for the division, right? Absolutely.
100%.
He could be back in time for December, right in time for their playoff push. I would say it's unlikely just because it's a partial tear on an ACL. And if anything, it would be in the middle of a playoff push, like after their first win, if they were to win.
Yeah.
But I think he had said something about like his return time being in December, but I think that's literally just hopeful thinking. We'll see what happens from there. But yeah, as I was saying, Joe Burrow will start on quarterback. And another name to watch is Justin Herbert, who said he wouldn't mind being on the show. Being that Justin Herbert just got paid, Joe Burrow looks for an extension. I mean, That would be 2 out of the 3 quarterbacks, unless they're looking to add more. I mean, we had already talked about Russell Wilson almost being like surefire as well. So do we have our 3 confirmed basically? Like, or all but confirmed, I guess.
I don't know. I think they're gonna. I really hope they're gonna try to get Baker. That'd be really really fun for me. But we'll see. But it was looking there for a minute that there was gonna be not a lot of quarterbacks that were gonna be on the show. So if it ends up with, let's say, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert, that'd be awesome. It'd be way better than what I would have hoped a week ago because it was looking pretty rough.
Steelers are signing linebacker Quan Alexander. Bills are signing wide receiver Andy Isabella, Madden legend, franchise legend, Andy Isabella. Quite honestly, the biggest news of the week, Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. So I have to kind of go through X or Twitter or whatever it is. By the way, while I find this, can I just say, we're not changing the bird, okay? This will stay up here.
Because it's Twitter.
X is stupid. This always will be Twitter. Just saying.
Yep.
In the next,
I agree.
Yeah. Anyways, is it bad that it like kind of made me upset? Like, I don't know.
No,
I
made
have
me
like
really mad.
I have my shortcut to where it's still Twitter, despite the fact that the app updated. So I still have that. But anyway, so long story short, Jim Irsay is saying some stupid things about his players.
Shocker.
Basically, all right, I'm trying to find his original tweet because he had said something
about negotiating in bad faith.
Yeah, yes, because he was talking. Did we talk about that on last week's episode?
Mm-hmm. We did.
So let's see. All right, I'll probably just okay. Let me see here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so they said that it was bad or no. Where's it at? Okay, yeah. He said, we have negotiated a CBA that took years of effort and hard work and compromise and good faith by both sides to say now that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling bad faith. Jonathan Taylor's agent has replied with bad faith is not paying your top offensive player. Then, speaking of which, region man James Boyd of The Athletic, great guy, is doing reporting of this as well. And according to him, he said, Irsay said, if I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor's out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes. It's a privilege to be a part of it. So basically, right, the timing of that comment is horrible. Is he kind of right? Like, it's not that nobody would miss you, but I want to say, depending on the legacy that you leave, it could definitely erase, some people could definitely forget. It's fine. But saying that about a player that needs an extension and everything is stupid. And to add to this, so the Colts were going to add Jonathan Taylor to a list saying like the PUP list, but basically a non-football injury list to where Jonathan Taylor got injured it was a back injury or something to where they don't have to pay him because he wasn't injured in a football setting. To which Jonathan Taylor had since replied that basically I'm fine. I didn't report any back problems or anything like that. They just kind of put me on this list. So essentially, it looks like with Jonathan Taylor and his agent, the way that I'm reading this, and I have to quote Fantasy Footballers podcast because of the way that they put this as well. It's exactly like hey, do not tag me. Do not. Because I'm 1 year away from that, and I will cause X, Y, and Z to happen if you were to tag me. So I think that's what they're kind of getting at. But not only that, but he requested a trade as well. which the Colts will not honor, according to Jim Irsay, which, by the way, is not necessarily in the position to be making that call. I mean, I understand he's the owner of the franchise, but it's like, if you're a GM,
if Chris Ballard comes out and is offered, and not that it will happen, but if Chris Ballard is offered a first-round pick, then you do the trade. Like, I mean, but
in the league is very interested as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows what's going to come out of this? But all I know is Jim Irsay is treating this very unprofessionally. No matter how many big words that he wants to use in his tweets or anything like that, it's ridiculous. In an interview with The Athletic and everything, if he wants to say that their existence is going to be erased, Jonathan Taylor could be traded to the Chiefs and have an absolute all-star greatest of all time career. This dude is already putting up fantastic numbers as a young player in the league. He deserves a big contract. I'll even go to say that. If you have a Jonathan Taylor, he's not like the David Montgomery that we had talked about where it's like, you could just get another one. Like, Jonathan Taylor is Jonathan Taylor, dude. He is a massive part of this. And not only that, but Jonathan Taylor, the way that I look at it as well is that you drafted a rushing quarterback. He's a dual threat. He has an arm. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but he will use his legs more. That takes away a little bit more of a chunk of Jonathan Taylor's run game if they design the plays correctly. So if you're looking at Jonathan Taylor in a contract year, you're almost thinking, I kind of need to get out of here. That way I can make my money elsewhere. Because if you're used somewhere else that could be like Kansas City, that could use you in a rushing game that's purely dominant in that sense, then that's going to be way better than a quarterback that's going to be using his legs to extend the plays way more. So when we see these rumors about him going to the Bears, first off, the AFC executive that said that is a stupid idiot.
A dumb idiot. I don't. If you believe that Ryan Poles will spend any kind of significant money or capital on a running back, you do not know what you're talking about. And I
trade, it's going to be on an edge rusher. Just saying.
Yeah, if he's going to sign anyone to a new contract, it's going to be Yannick. But besides the point,
I'm a candidate of a lot of different people right now. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see.
Chase Young,
because
what?
Well, no, I'm actually against that. Believe it or not. But
oh wow.
Yeah, I did a full breakdown on my Twitter. If you guys need it, you guys can search it up. It's fine. But basically, as far as future cap situations go, if you're going to trade for him, you're more than likely going to extend him. And you've got a lot of people, Justin Fields, more and more people that need to be paid. You cannot trade for this guy, trade away assets, and sign him to a long-term contract when, he's injury prone. Not going to lie, as much as it sucks. If you were to get the bag and, absolutely just like tear something and then he's done, you just wasted all that money and all that assets on somebody that you could have just signed a bridge and then drafted an edge. That's my point of view.
And then as far as the Jonathan Taylor situation goes, from like kind of my last thoughts on this right now. At some point over the course of like the next 3 or 4 weeks before the actual season starts, as we did last year, we will probably live stream our fantasy football draft. We will see, but following that up at some point before that, I don't want to guarantee anything, but I'm almost 100% sure me and Ryan will carve out a good 30-minute chunk where we talk about fantasy football sleepers and our opinion on different players and all that different stuff.
I'm so hesitant though, I will say.
For those people, I know it's tough because you don't want to give away our draft strategy but for those people that are kind of listening and having an upcoming draft, just keep all this Indianapolis Colts stuff in the back of your head if you're picking 7, 8, 9, 10, or early in the second round, just because I'm not in a position where I'm gonna pick him, where I can even pick him. But it's just what that does to his what?
Do you expect him to be gone in the first round?
I would have thought he was going to go in the first round, but now in a 12-person league. But And what do you do with him now at this point? Because
He's a second round talent now.
it's a whole Dalvin Cook situation too. Like Dalvin Cook's amazing, but like you don't know where he's gonna go. You don't want to touch him right now, but
and I will say this as well. The more that we talk about fantasy, there's a possibility that I join a keeper league, so we might have more content coming soon for people in a keeper league. So stay posted for that, just because I'm not entirely sure. Nothing's set in stone yet, but we'd love to keep you guys in the loop anyway. So we have two more topics here. Trey Lance is set to be QB3 on the depth chart. Sam Darnold has the QB2, and Brock Purdy has taken over as QB1. Do you think about trading him?
Yeah, of course you will. I have always been in the camp that you see what training camp brings, and the training camp doesn't bring anything good, then you think about trading him. But now the only issue now is if all these reports coming out, he's QB3, he's not performing, what value do you get back from him? Because if you're getting a 6th-round pick, then you're the Niners and you say, screw off. I'm not trading the dude I traded 3 first-round picks to go and get for a 6th-round pick, 2.5 years later. So
at what point do we start putting Trey Lance in the Zach Wilson conversation?
I think maybe after this year, but the issue with that is it's not even that he has played and he has played bad. It is the fact that he just hasn't played just because of all the injuries he had. And that's when it starts getting tough, man. So
Rams running back Sony Michel is retiring. And then one headline that I wanted to talk about as well, as we, are about to transition into the northern divisions. Jordan Love is underperforming, and the offense is underperforming as a whole for the Packers lately. So if you're thinking about fantasy and stuff like that, I mean, Christian Watson, I'm not entirely sure where people have him on, their boards or anything. I don't like anything Packers related for, just in general for one, but for, fantasy football purposes as well. I mean, you mean Aaron Jones?
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Aaron Judge. Anyways.
No, Aaron Jones.
But yeah, so I mean, it's not taking the shape that people thought that it would. What are you thinking about that when you see the reports and stuff before we get into Pigskin and Pick'em?
Well, and then there's actually one more thing after this as well. But
yes.
Mr. Kelly Green. But
yes. I'll pull that up while you talk.
Yes. I mean, it's to be expected. I mean, he's a young quarterback, and given he's going into his 4th year now, I think at this point. But like, this is his first year taking first team reps. This is his first year, like, being that guy. So it's to be expected. But with all of that stuff coming out, I think it was Monday, I think is what it was, maybe Sunday. Like he had like a training camp day where he went like 18 of 22. So it's just growing pains. It's just a matter of him like getting into the system, figuring it out, being that guy. I'm a Jordan Love guy. There's been a couple throws that I've seen videos of him like training camp making some really, really awesome back shoulder fade throws. I just think it's going to take time, and we'll see. But yeah, there's not really anyone in terms of fantasy football in that offense outside of Aaron Jones that I feel safe or confident in terms of picking, just because it's such just a mystery when it comes to those guys. If Christian Watson's there in round 13, which is not going to be, then yeah, I'll take him, but I'm not taking him any earlier probably. Aaron Jones is the only one that I feel comfortable. I've always been on an anti-AJ Dillon train, so nothing new there.
Yeah. Geez. Okay. So anyways, so these awesome jerseys that dropped this week. It's pretty nice. I wish I could zoom in so I can get all this crap out of the way, but it's pretty nice. You can't really complain about these.
No, this is everything that I would have hoped for it is. And the helmets are just spectacular. For those who can't tell, like the pants are green, or the pants are gray. The pants are gray in this, but the wings have a little gray to them, and they are so clean. I'm ecstatic. This is everything I would have wanted, and more. It doesn't get much better than this. Best jerseys in the NFL. That's what I've been saying, guys.
There's bias there, but it's fine.
Yeah, there's not. Hey, what jerseys are better? Maybe the Seahawks, and then maybe the powdered blues. But
Seahawks navy green and the Bears
That's what I'm
orange
saying.
are nice.
Ew, the Bears orange.
Or not navy green. I
it.
mean the neon green. But anyway.
No, the neon green is so ugly, which is a little ironic. But
I love it. I mean, you guys, as far as like just the general public, hate on that jersey so much, but it's just it's so.
No, you
good,
guys
dude.
is in me and Matt because they're awful.
No, but I've heard more than just you two. But dude, I love
I don't know
those
how
so
you
much.
like it. Well, and then real quick as we're on it, and then we can transition next segment because we've been here for 30 minutes now. The dreams, I do not like the dreamsicles, man. I can't. We had this conversation.
Oh, dude, that's like and anybody that likes that jersey is either colorblind or tone deaf, or not tone deaf. What is it? No matter, whatever. You guys will figure it out. It's fine. I'm exhausted. Colorblind is one thing.
I do not
Bad
like.
Taste. Yeah.
I don't like the dreamsicle jerseys.
They're horrible
at all. But some people love them, man. People are out here loving them.
They're like, these are so good. They're so good. And be like, yeah, well, when they lose every game that they play in those, because they look like crap and they'll play like crap. You know,
Baker Mayfield doesn't even look happy in the pictures that like they did in the photo shoot. It's just like,
well, poor guy. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on here.
You think you know football? Well, prove it. This is Pigskin Pick'em.
All right, so starting off with the 49ers. This is going to be interesting, I will say.
I had them winning a little bit more games than I would have thought.
Now, we've been dropping bold takes from here and there. I think they're going to have some growing pains at quarterback again. God forbid Brock Purdy can't perform at the way that he did at the end of last season. Then they go to Sam Darnold, who we all know Sam Darnold is still Sam Darnold. And then Trey Lance will make an appearance. I will say he will make an appearance at some point in time, even if he is third in the depth chart. He will make an appearance this year if he is not traded. But I expect some growing pains, and I'll just say it right off the bat. I have them losing against the Steelers.
I do not. Actually, I have them opening the season actually fairly hot. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have them winning the first 4 games, and I don't even think it's a matter of how well they're gonna play. It's just this stretch of the first 4 games, maybe outside of the Giants, might be some of the easiest stretch of football any team all year is gonna play. Yeah. That's the Steelers, Rams, Giants, and Cardinals. As you guys know, like I am not high on the Giants like at all. I think they're going to take a step back, and I guess that's considered like a super duper hot take. I did not know that, but no. I'm make it simple. I think they're going to win those first 4 games. I'm not as high on Brock Purdy as everyone else is, but I'm not as low on Brock Purdy as you are. I just think he's going to step in. He's going to perform to like a Jimmy Garoppolo level.
It's going to be average. Yeah,
it's a quarterback friendly system. It's not going to do anything amazing, but he's not going to, he's not going to like lose you any games. I don't think. And then everyone's going to be on the whole like 4-0 outside of the game. He got hurt. He's undefeated, and it's going to get. It's going to get so bad at the very beginning of the season with Brock Purdy. Everyone's going to be riding him. So it'll be interesting.
I do have them winning the next 3 against the Rams, Giants, Cardinals. I have them losing against the Cowboys, as we both do, I'm assuming, since you said that they win the first 4 and not the first 5.
Yeah, exactly.
I have them losing against the Browns.
Okay.
Just because I mean that defensive line got better, dude. And I mean, I feel like the Browns are almost being overlooked yet again. I mean, I feel like they could go for a run. It all just depends on like Deshaun Watson is the focal point of this team. Like this team will go wherever he
You said
goes.
it.
And I think that I mean, obviously it's the quarterback, but I'm just saying like the reason why they didn't win many games after Deshaun Watson came back is because Deshaun Watson was rusty. So we'll see where he is, and after an off season of the playbook, being in the system and kind of exercising those growing pains in those first 5 weeks, I think that the Browns can absolutely win this. For one, Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett is probably the scariest duo in football right now. I'll say that. On the edge, I think that it is. Yeah, sure. Eagles fan here. Okay. But, I'm just saying
Not
I think it's horrifying. I mean, Zadarius Smith
Alex
is still,
Highsmith and TJ Watt, but it's besides the point.
I'm just saying, I mean, we can go back and forth on that. That's fine. But what I'm just saying is, I mean, they're top 3 easily, if not number 1. They're top 3 in the league.
I'll say top 3. I'll give you top 3.
So, but they're going to be a problem. And I expect the 49ers to have some issues with the Browns. So I'll have them lose here.
I do not. At this point, everyone listening knows how I feel about the Browns. Once I see it, I'll maybe start believing a little bit more. But I want nothing to do with the Browns, and it will absolutely stay that way. So I have them I have them beating the Browns.
I have them beating the brakes off the Vikings. The Vikings are not going to be the team that we saw them last year.
Come on now. To say beating the brakes off of them, I think is a little bit of a stretch. At
they
least
allowed
in my
40
opinion.
points to Indianapolis, dude. And they got worse.
Every team has a bad. I do think they're going to be worse, like no doubt. But I don't know. I that being said, I do have them beating the Vikings. So
thank you. They're going to lose the next 2 games against the Bengals and Jaguars.
Yes. I'm glad we're kind of in the same spot with the Jaguars. I guess also a conversation I want to like quickly point out when we're done with the Niners here. But
yeah,
yes, I have them losing the Jaguars.
Winning the next 2 against the Bucks and Seahawks. Not losing, I promise.
Yes. Yep. I wonder if I bet the rest of our schedule. Maybe not, but
losing against the Eagles, winning the next 2 against the Seahawks and Cardinals, losing against the Ravens, winning against Washington, and winning against the Rams.
Okay, so not quite. I was with you. I have them losing against the Bengals and Jags. I do have them winning against the Bucks and Seahawks. But I do have them losing against the Eagles and Seahawks. I guess I'm much higher on the Seahawks than I guess what the general public is.
Zach Charbonnet got hurt. We'll see how Jackson Smith and Jigba is. How much he's being used.
Even if both those guys were out, I still probably would have them winning. I think they're a very, very solid team. But then also, like, we forget how big of an advantage playing in the Seahawks stadium is. It is. I have never been there, obviously, but I heard it is just like such a surreal place to watch a football game.
Yeah.
Like one of the best home field advantages in all of sports, like outside of the Denver teams.
I will say this. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I have them winning against the Cardinals, losing against the Ravens, winning against the Commanders, and then losing against the Rams. The Rams loss is just because they're not going to be playing their starters. So I have them finishing the season 11-6.
Wait, hold on a second. You said win against the Cardinals. What against the Ravens?
Lose against the Ravens, win against the Commanders,
yeah,
and then losing against the Rams, putting them at 11-6.
All right, I have them at 10-7. What I was going to say though, let's see here. Yeah, okay, cool. I will say this: Tyler Lockett will be playing on a different team at the end of the season.
Yes, because Jackson, he might not even be playing at the end of the season. Tyler Lockett's like 32, 33.
He's
He
30
might
right
just.
now.
Oh, he's 30. Okay, maybe he's a little bit
Mhm.
younger than I thought. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's what we said going into the draft was that like he would fit perfectly and fill that Tyler Lockett role. So for a season,
Mhm.
Tyler Lockett takes him under the belt, shows him the ropes, and then he overtakes that role from him.
Yeah.
But I guess to the point about the Jags, I think at least between me, Ryan, and Matt, it was like consensus, not a hot take. But I guess on the internet, it is considered a hot take. I'm much higher on the Jags than I am the Jets. Like if I'm an AFC team, I'd be significantly more worried about playing the Jags than I would the Jets. I guess like the last like 3 or 4 weeks of the podcast, I'm just like on a Jets smear campaign. But I'm just
Cool.
I don't know what it is. The Jets are going to be a fine team. I think they're going to be like maybe a game or two above 500. But like I do
Cool with
not
that.
see them at all being like this championship contender that people are, trying to like tout around and everything.
Aaron Rodgers.
I am more confident in the Lions and Jags than I am the Jets. And it is what it is. Like the Jags are going to be a very fun football team to watch this year.
That
I
Calvin
can't wait
Ridley
to see.
connection is blossoming as we speak.
Oh, that's dude. Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Next up, we have the Rams. This one we might be identical on, but I don't know. I have them losing the first 3 games against the Seahawks, 49ers, and Bengals.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I have them losing the first 5 games. So against, like you said, the aforementioned Seahawks, Niners, Bengals, but then also Colts, Eagles. Everyone on the podcast at this point knows how I feel about the Colts. So
I have them winning against the Colts.
Fair enough.
I will say, so Cooper Kupp is still a very reliable option for fantasy if you guys are going into your draft soon. Cooper Kupp is, Matthew Stafford's still the quarterback of the Rams. He's trying to make his.
We don't know what's going on with him. He was pulled off the field and got an MRI scan of his hamstring yesterday.
I think he'll be back for week 1 easily. He's got a month to recover.
Absolutely,
It'll be
but
fine.
It's I don't want anything to do with Cooper Kupp when it comes to injury. Like it's just his injuries concern me too much, man.
Yeah. I have them beating the Colts, but yes, losing the rest in that stretch. I had them winning against the Cardinals, winning against the Steelers, okay. I'm gonna change that to a loss though.
Okay.
Losing against the Cowboys, losing against the Packers.
I've been beating the Packers.
I love you.
So that'll be. I was gonna say you're gonna really like me for that. I do have them beating the Packers.
It's in Lambeau. That's why I'm not doing it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Beating the Seahawks.
Wow.
Beating the Cardinals.
Okay.
Oh wait. Yeah, duh.
I have them losing to the Seahawks both times, by the way. But yeah, I have them losing to the Seahawks, but I do have them beating the Cardinals. And I'm going to make it nice and simple for you. I'm actually going to have them lose the rest of the season outside of the Commanders game. So lost the Browns, lost the Ravens, a victory against the Commanders, but then a loss to the Saints, Giants, and Niners.
Okay. I have
that doesn't work out, does it?
What's that?
Because I had the Rams losing. Actually, no. We're going to say the Niners win that week 7, or I guess week 18 game. So that actually puts the Niners at 12-5. Yes. Okay, that works out. And my Rams at 5-12, which is funny how that works. But
yeah, I think that. What did you say that the Niners would be at?
12-5.
12-5. Yeah. Okay. Which makes sense because I think they'd be playing for seeding. So yeah, I have them winning against the Seahawks, winning against the Cardinals, losing to the Browns, Ravens, beating the Commanders, losing to the Saints, winning against the Giants, and losing against the 49ers. What was your final record?
I had them at 5-12.
Okay. I have them at 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, and 10. 6 and 11, I'm sorry. So yeah, not too far apart on either prediction again this week. I mean, I love how it's like consensus like along the same lines. It's not bad. Because last year it was like I'm throwing crazy numbers at you and you're like, you're stupid. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyways.
Yes, a little bit more of agreement this week.
Hall of Fame game is on Thursday.
DTR.
7 p.m. Central. Kellen Mond, Zach Wilson, those are the starters.
Screw
But
Kellen Mond.
DTR will be getting some time, and I talked to my coaches about that today and everything. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, do you have anything planned for the Hall of Fame game? I mean, are you guys doing anything crazy?
Eating food and watching DTR.
Yep, I'm doing the same
If you
thing.
guys can't tell, I am very excited to watch DTR play some football.
Dude, yeah. So I can tell that my dad's starting to get a little like, he misses football a lot too because he never watches preseason football. He's like, it's baseball season right now, just like, not football season just yet. Football season starts in September, basically, right? Or it's fantasy football season. This is when I'm doing all my research and watching the league. So basically, that's what he's, saying. And he texted me and he was like, hey, what are you doing for Thursday? And I was like, just working. And then I have practice. Why? What's up? And he said, come by for dinner and Hall of Fame game. And so, basically he's going to be making me some dinner, it'll be good because for one, I don't have to cook. So that's awesome. But I'm excited to watch this game with him and be able to watch football with him and stuff because, I mean, we've been planning my 21st for like 2 months, by the way. I can't, awesome. I don't know if I've talked to you about that or not. So for those of you, obviously I just shared it. I'm turning 21, the day after opening day or major opening weekend or whatever, right? College football, whatever. So yeah, on the 11th, when the Bills take on the Jets on Monday Night Football. So normally a lot of people are like, oh man, let's go get messed up on our 21st, blah, blah. Like, dude, I'm not like that. Believe it or not. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to have a couple drinks with my parents. And I mean a couple drinks. I'm not taking down anything, right? Like, that's awful. That's the plan. I want to be able to bet on the game. And then I want to just be able to like remember it as like me and my family got together on that day. You know what I mean? So for that, I'm really excited for that. And I know that my dad is too, especially because like, since I moved away and stuff, it's been awesome to talk football with him and everything. But like knowing that he's going to watch this game is monumental. Like people don't understand that. Like he is not a preseason guy. So when we say like, let's go and do this, I'm so focused on family time this season to where it's like, I cannot wait, to go over to my parents' place and like watch Sunday Night Football or something like that after work, and just do that. It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited for this football season, man. It's officially football season.
Yes, it is.
And I put it in the title as well. The return of the real favorite pastime. It is baseball season right now, but everybody knows football is the best sport out there. I mean, no matter what, I mean, bandwagons, everything, dude, we will always have football on no matter where you go. It's going to be amazing.
Well, and real quick too, for those who watch the league, which I guess at this point, probably not a lot of people do, at least
but
not
you
a lot
need
of people.
to.
Yeah, you do need to, by the way. It is such a great show. I think for my profile picture this year, because I'm gonna have to be added to Fantasy Football League again because a whole bunch of signing out and creating new accounts and whatnot. I think my fantasy profile picture is gonna be Mr. Mick Griblets. It's gonna be great.
Was that his name?
Yeah, Mick Griblets.
That's awesome.
Mr. Mick Griblet. It's gonna be great. That's gonna the little puppet guy. It's gonna be great.
That's awesome. What was the shirt? wasn't it like I washed my balls for this or something like that for the
Yeah.
draft shirt? Yeah.
Yes.
So my family is so in love with this show on a normal basis to where we watch this every year around this time that my
Yeah.
stepmom got my dad that shirt for the draft every year. So yeah, I don't know. I might make my profile picture that for the
Or
first
it's
couple
I
weeks or something.
I shaved my balls for this.
Yeah, yep, that one. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah, a little PG-13 content there for you
Yeah.
guys. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a lot more Weddle lately. What about you?
Yes. Actually, I've been playing a lot less Weddle recently, but I've just been a lot of busy recently. But
Let's get into it.
It's time for America's favorite game, Weddle.
This guy. All right. So it's still tied. Or not tied. We tied last week. 26-16. It's been this record for like the last
And-
like 4 weeks or something.
Weddle has to know what they're doing, dude. Like, because the few times I play like during the week and whatnot, it's easy. And then Wednesdays roll around, and Weddle's like,
Mhm.
oh, those two
Wednesday Weddles,
guys, they
baby.
have their podcast. We got to make it hard for them so they look stupid while recording.
No, that's exactly what they do. It's obvious. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of this banner really quick so everybody can see. But yeah, let's dive right into it. Everybody knows the rules. Let's get started. I'll go first for easy, and then I want
Sure, I'm
second
okay
because
with
I went first last time for hard.
that. Works.
So, go with David Montgomery. 26. All right, in the NFC.
26.
He's not a running back, but he's close to 5'11". So I'm thinking wide receiver right off the bat.
Yeah, it's gonna be wide receiver. I'm trying to think of a shorter wide receiver in the NFC. It's kind of young. Age does not work here because I'm almost certain he's 27. Give me DJ Moore.
That's not going to work because it's not in the NFC North. Do you want to still go for it?
Yeah, I still just want to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's a wide receiver. He is 26. Awesome.
Oh,
I
thought he was 27.
No, Ryan Poles is smart. Let's see.
Wouldn't make a difference.
So he's 6'1". It has to be 6'1" because 5'11". I think the range is 3, right?
Range is two, so like
2?
yeah,
yeah.
so like if he's 6'1", you would show up the 6 foot, and then 5'11" would show up. So yes, he has to be 6'1".
Let's see here. I'm gonna go. I don't know why I think he's taller, but I'm going DK.
Just much
Yeah,
taller.
much taller. Yeah. Okay.
All right, that leaves.
But the jersey number helped us out a little bit for 14.
That leaves the South and East.
Yeah, directions.
That there's no one in the South that blatantly stands out to me in terms of Falcons, Saints, Panthers. And
How old is Mike
Bucks.
Evans?
Way too old. Mike Evans is like 30. So that would leave the East. What's the NFC? Or what's the NFC?
How tall is AJ Brown?
I thought AJ Brown was 27, but that's no, it could be AJ Brown. I mean, he wears 11, but
Dude,
yeah.
Imagine you went first, and because that's always your guess. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. All right,
oh yeah. Oh, that would have been so much fun. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Just like AJ Brown. Got it.
Yeah. All right. Who are you going with?
Well, I'm going AJ Brown. So
again.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Okay.
NFC. It's gonna be a freaking offensive lineman, isn't it?
I'm gonna go with. Robert Tonyan.
It's not all right. Kind of old. Oh, Jimmy Graham.
George Kittle.
I was gonna say I think the age does not work out there. Noah Fant. No, Noah Fant's no. Noah Fant's not old enough. Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett is also not correct because Gerald Everett plays for the Chargers. Why can I only think we just covered? Oh gosh, I'm trying to. Tyler Higbee. That's his name. Couldn't think of his gosh darn name.
Ah, dang it, dude.
Sweet. I couldn't think of his name. It was gonna drive me wild that I couldn't think of his name. I'm like, that's who it has to be. But yeah, for our audio listeners, it was Tyler Higbee. So,
all right. Well, digging back the hole again. Here we go.
Like that. Well, football's back.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is awesome. My AirPod almost fell out. That would have been bad. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been episode 77. Obviously, I mean, we're excited. Place your guys' predictions in the comments as to who you think is going to win, either the Jets or the Browns. Not because it matters, but just because it's fun. And then, if you guys have any suggestions or anything like that for us, feel free to give us any recommendations. Feel free, by the way, it's a big, big weekend in wrestling. Like I just said, check out On the Mark Wrestling podcast because they're freaking awesome. And thank you to Overtime Sports Network, Regional Radio Sports Network, Uppercuts Grooming, Spotify for Podcasters for helping us grow as a podcast. We want to say, please leave a rating, review, like anything that you can possible, just to make sure. Thank you for, checking in, Kyle. Just to make sure, that we can grow as a podcast and everything. The algorithm is a big, big thing. So please just leave a thumbs up or something, because more people deserve to see this awesome fantasy football content that we're about to put out and everything. We're going to have more weekly news and everything as well. So please, please, please stay posted. We are starting the Northern divisions next week. So we're starting with the AFC North. We put it out on our Twitter exactly what teams we're going to be doing as well. So I am very excited for that. But Ben, any closing comments before that's it?
No, like I said, I'm just ready to watch some football, man. It's gonna be good. Like I was saying before, it's DTR time. It's great. Now everyone gets to see why I love DTR so much. So.
I'm excited. And if he craps the bed, I get to make fun of you. Thanks for listening this week, and we will talk to you guys next